What's up guys, Mike from Rockville, and today we're going to be talking about how to set up and use your BPA speakers from Rockville. Let's get to it. So now the BPA series comes in 4 different sizes of 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, and 15-inch powered PA speakers. I have the 8-inch versions over here, but the process to set them up and use them is exactly the same on all of them. So the first thing we're going to do when we're setting up our PA speakers is mount them onto a speaker stand. So I have a 35mm speaker stand here. What we're going to do is take our speaker, and you'll see at the bottom over here we have our mounting hole over here, but also on the back we have a locking knob. So what we're going to do first is loosen the locking knob. Once it's completely loose, you're going to line it up with your speaker stand. You're just going to fit it over. Now once it's on the speaker stand, we're going to go ahead and turn that locking knob on the bottom to the right to tighten it. I'm going to do the same exact thing with my other BPA8 speaker over here. So now in my setup, I'm using 2 BPA8 speakers, but remember, you can do this with just one speaker. It doesn't matter. It's totally flexible. The next thing we're going to do is plug in our speakers to the wall. So we do that with the included power cable. It's a standard IEC cable. You take the female end and you're going to plug it directly into the back of the speaker where it says AC output. Then you're going to take the male end and plug it directly into the wall. We're going to do the same thing with the second speaker. All right, now that we have power, we can actually go ahead and turn on both speakers with this power switch over here. And you'll see the LED display at the top illuminate, which means you have power. So now before we connect each speaker to each other, I just want to go through the back plate on one speaker and explain each function so you really understand how to use the speaker. And remember, it doesn't matter if you have the BPA10, the 12, or the 15. All of the principles are exactly the same. I know on the BPA12 and the 15, you're going to just have a different display at the top over here, and you're also going to have an additional XLR on channel 2, but everything else is exactly the same, and the principles are all the same, so just stick with me. So the first thing I want to do is show you how to hook up a microphone into your BPA8. You do that by taking a microphone and a standard XLR cable. So I'm going to plug the female end into this, and I'm going to take the other end and I'm going to go into my channel 1. But before I do that, I want to make sure all of my volume is all the way down so we don't get any nasty feedback. So I'm going to take the male end now, plug it directly in here. And you'll actually see a button that says line and mic over here. So now if the button is pushed out, that means you are using the 1/4 inch input for a line input. So if we want to use a microphone, I actually have to go and press that button in so that this channel becomes a microphone channel. Then I can turn my microphone on, and then if I turn up the volume on channel 1, you're going to hear my voice start coming through the speaker, which is really great. So now we're using the microphone channel on our BPA. And say I wanted to use this channel for line inputting, I would just use the 1/4 inch input over here and push that button out so that it is in a line level signal. So channel 2, this section over here where it has the volume knob that's labeled volume 2, that's actually going to be another way that we can input line level signal. So we have 2 different ways that we can do it on the BPA8 and the 10. We have RCA line level input and an aux input over here. So if you want to use RCA cables, you would plug them in here, and if you want to use a 3.5mm aux cable, you would plug that in there. Now regardless which way you plug in, the volume's all going to be controlled through this volume knob over here. Now the BPA12 and the BPA15 have an additional XLR input on the channel 2 that you can use for a microphone or line level inputting, and that's the only difference between the BPA12 and 15 versus the BPA8 and 10. But essentially they work the same way. You're going to control all of the inputting on channel 2 with this volume 2 knob over here. Now on top of independent volume controls on each channel, we also have a 2-band bass and treble EQ, so you can really boost the bass for the whole system, boost the bass, or cut the bass so that it's a little more trebly. And you can do the same thing with the treble. You can boost the treble so it's a little more high-pitched, or you can cut the treble so it's a little bit more filtered. Now you'll notice at the bottom there is a knob that says MP3 volume, and that's to control the MP3 module, which is over here. Now our MP3 module acts as our Bluetooth control as well as our SD and USB inputting. So if you have music on an SD card or USB, you can push them in there and you're going to control the level of the volume from the MP3 volume knob. Now if you want to use Bluetooth, let me show you how to set that up now. So I have my phone over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Bluetooth settings of my phone, and then I'm going to go over here now and press the mode button. So once it says no, you know that there's nothing connected through Bluetooth. You hit the mode button over here. It's going to go into Bluetooth, searching, and then you're going to find the BPA device in your smartphone Bluetooth settings.
Bluetooth connected.
Once you hear that, you know you are connected through Bluetooth. Now I can play music really quick just to test it. So you can hear it coming through, and I can control that volume from the MP3 volume over here. So we can go louder, or we can go quieter with this volume knob. Now you're also going to be able to use that 2-band EQ for the Bluetooth module, which is really great because you can fine-tune the sound around your preference. Now with all the BPA models, they actually come with an included remote that you can use to control the Bluetooth module. It just gives you some control over the EQ, play, pause, and the raising of the volume for that channel. Now the last thing to talk about is the line output, because that's actually what we're going to do to connect two BPA speakers to each other, or you can use it to send to a subwoofer or to expand your system in general. Now all you're going to need for that line input is an XLR cable. So I have another one over here. What you're going to do is take the female end of the XLR cable and plug it right into the line output. Make sure you get a nice connection. Then what you're going to do with the other end is plug it into the line input on your next speaker. So on this one, I'm going to plug it right here. And then remember, I have to push that line button out so that it is in line inputting mode. Now if I play music, I'll be able to hear music coming through both speakers because they're connected through the line output into the line input. Here we go. Definitely hear it coming through both speakers. It's much louder and it's in stereo. Sounds awesome. Now the cool thing about this is we have two speakers playing the same music, and I can EQ each of them to their own preference. On top of that, you can use the line output on the second speaker to send signal forward to another powered speaker, a powered subwoofer, or even a mixer for a bigger setup. Now a popular setup that people do with our speakers all the time is use a smartphone or tablet, connect through Bluetooth to one of the speakers, then go to YouTube and find the karaoke version of a song. Then if you use the microphones, you actually have a full karaoke system coming through both speakers. Alright guys, hopefully this video showed you how easy it is to set up your BPA speaker, whether you have a BPA8, 10, 12, or 15. But again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support tech team through phone or email. As always guys, I'm Mike from Rockville. I'll see you next time.